The Montreal Canadiens are in LA to take on Phil Deneau and the LA Kings. It's time for the Talking Habs pregame show before every Montreal Canadiens hockey game. Previews, lineups, and the Guess the Score contest. Here's your hosts, Rick and Matt. Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Matt's not here yet. He'll be here soon. So this is the pregame show for the game today. This is brought to you by sponsor today is from the producers of the latest Habs movie. The struggling Montreal Canadiens turn to the Lord and Savior to try to help them with their biggest problem in over 25 years in. Jesus Christ, why can't we find a legitimate superstar? Coming out in theaters soon. Hey, everybody. So we got a game today. It's an afternoon game, very unusual. So it's a 1 o'clock start in LA, which makes it 4 o'clock start. Locally here, Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow's game is the exact same thing in Anaheim, so be prepared. And, let's see who's here, if anybody is. Petty was here before. He just woke up and the game starts soon, he says. So everybody, come on, make a guess for the Guess the Score contest if you want. And let's talk. I have some pregame stuff. I'm going to actually start with, I'll show you the stats from the last game where Montreal beat the Sharks 4-0. First time since 1999 that they won in San Jose. So that was a big thing. And then we'll go over the stuff for the game today and see if we can figure out who might win, might not win. Drake, 3-2 Habs. He's got Hoffman for the first goal. Matt says, and he's 100% right, and hopefully Matt will show up here too as well. Disgusted Cheveldayoff is still a GM. I guess that's news. I didn't mark it down here. I'm a little disgusted too. Tim Cheveldayoff totally not cleared by the NHL, but because he wasn't part of the senior management, evil Gary Bettman says that he can't do anything. He doesn't feel like he should do anything to Cheveldayoff, which is total bullshit because Cheveldayoff was, if they're banning Quenneville from the league, Cheveldayoff was just as much involved in those discussions and meetings, and this is disgusting. Quite frankly, I think we should boycott the Winnipeg Jets until they fire him because this is totally wrong that he should be able to be part of this. He was named in this report. His name is there, and it's different from Bergevin, who is not named, and Cheveldayoff. And you know what? I didn't put it up here, but now that we're talking about it, I got to find it. He put out a statement, which to me is totally disgusting, and I'll tell you why in a sec. I think it's this one here. He doesn't. He apologizes and doesn't. First and foremost, importantly, I want to express my support of and empathy for Kyle Beach, and blah blah. And all he has had to endure. I say blah blah blah, not for Kyle Beach, but for this bullshit statement. And all he has had to endure since 2010, he was incredibly brave coming forward. This is true, to tell his story. We can all use his courage as an inspiration to do a better job of making hockey a safer place for anyone who wants to play the game. That would include having you, Kevin Cheveldayoff, not as a GM or any part of this league. He goes on to say, further, I want to express my gratitude to the National Hockey League for letting me off the hook on what I did, for the opportunity to meet with Commissioner Gary Bettman in person and directly share my role in and recollection of events while I was assistant GM of the Chicago Blackhawks in 2010, which Gary Bettman just said, well, you weren't in senior management, you can walk. Okay, so what's missing from there? Anyone want to take a guess what's possibly missing from that statement? And then you can see if we agree. Last the game at a sensible time. Yeah, for you, Mary Jo is in the UK, I believe, in England, and for her, this is a good time. For us, it's a little early. Liam Gilks, 3-2 Habs. Anderson gets the first. All right, so what's missing from I want to call him Tim. I don't know why. Kevin Cheveldayoff's statement is, I'm sorry. There's nowhere in that statement that he says I'm sorry to Kyle Beach. Not once. So if he doesn't have I'm sorry in his statement, I don't think he's very sorry. And if he's not very sorry for what he did, he's a monster and he shouldn't be where he is. And, come at me if you don't agree. Daryl Adams, one of the very few times Daryl Adams did not get the first comment in here. Hey, buddy, he's got 5-2 Habs Dvorak. Matt is screaming, an apology, that's not like he's saying that's kind of saying, an apology? That's not an apology. It's not. An apology, it usually has I'm sorry in it. Flat out. If you don't say I'm sorry, you're not sorry. That's it. Daryl Adams, it's the rumor that's going around about Weber being a coach, actually being head coach. You know what? He's got to go and start coaching. He's not going to be an NHL caliber coach of any kind until he goes and starts coaching in the lower systems and works his way up. I mean, it's flat out. That's it. But as far as head coach, just to come off head coach, off playing and then be a head coach, it doesn't really work like that anymore. Back in the old days, yeah, they had a lot of player coaches and stuff like that, but you don't see that anymore. It's a rumor that I don't put much into, personally. Well, look who might be joining us. Matt. How's it going, my friend? Oh, he doesn't have his headphones on yet. It's my fault because, he showed up in the green room. I should have waited until he was ready. That's my fault. Everybody else?
Hello.
So I take it you're not happy with the decision by Gary Bettman.
No, I mean, come on. And, I watch and I honestly encourage trigger warning, obviously, just because of what's talking about. But Steve Dangle did a whole podcast on the report, and they did another podcast where he had Rick Westhead on, who did the interview with Kyle Beach.
Yeah.
Watch the whole thing, both of them. I watched them last night. It's gut wrenching, but it really, really, they do just a really good job of going over everything and how bad this is. Especially with I mean, I don't know if you even watched the interview with Kyle Beach. I got choked up listening to him.
Yeah, I did.
He was gonna cry.
I got choked up seeing a little bit on Twitter. Like I said, I know I read the report and I know that shit, so I didn't. So I'll be honest with you. It's hard to watch.
No, it is, and the thing that kills Kyle Beach the most, and he cried on TV when he was talking about it. But it was the fact that the high school kid got raped because no one did anything about it.
But it's not his fault. He did report it. He shouldn't feel guilty. It's not on him. He didn't know who the guy might go after that he could go save the kid. It's totally not on him. It's on a guy like Kevin Cheveldayoff, who signed off on giving this guy a freaking recommendation to go work somewhere else when they know he was a rapist. So for me, you know what? I'm even considering this. Montreal plays Winnipeg. I don't think I'm doing the game. Like, I really don't think so. I'm going to boycott Winnipeg till Cheveldayoff's gone. He should not have been allowed.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do Winnipeg games. I just want to say hi, Hockey Junkie. How's it going, my friend? I haven't seen him in a while. I'll get in touch with you soon. So I want you to come on the show. I've had a bad 3 weeks, so sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, it's a stain on this league, and you know what? When something like this puts such a stain on the league, it covers everybody, even guys like us who are doing this, and we're boasting about how we love hockey and the NHL. We're talking these guys up, and they're garbage.
Yeah, no, seriously.
So it's a stain on us too, and that's why I hate this.
100%.
That's why I'm mad like I am, because did it happen to me? Does it have anything to do with me? No, not personally, obviously. But you know what? It does, because anytime that happens to somebody, if you don't have any humanity in you and you can't feel for that or want to, be part of having that not ever happen again, then there's something wrong with you, I think, So, and then that whole thing just puts a stain on us. Hockey Junkie, you're out there. I wonder how you feel about that. How do you feel about that situation and how it makes you look to some people who might look at us, what we do, covering the NHL, talking about an NHL team, I've never been, you can look at me. Have I ever been sexually assaulted? No. It's a joke, but I mean, it's never happened to me. I don't know what he's been through personally, but I can feel for the guy,
right,
and want to help him out or want to support him. You know what I mean? And you can't. How can you not? Like, how can you just see something like that happen or hear about it? You're in charge. You can do something about it, and you choose not to, and you choose the Stanley Cup over that, over somebody's life, because his life got totally ruined for the last 11 years. You can't get that back.
Right, and that was in the report. That's what they did.
Right.
They said, "Well, we can't have this going on right now.
Exactly what they did.
We're going to the Stanley Cup final." So they chose winning a Stanley Cup over
That's
protecting
exactly
this
what
dude and protecting the other victims.
It's exactly what, and then they never even got back to him after that. They just let it go, and it's inexcusable. It's just inexcusable.
And they let Aldridge celebrate with
You're right.
the cup. He got a Stanley Cup. He got a ring.
Yeah. Just think about it if it's one of your friends, right? This is one of your friends, Kyle Beach. He tells you the story. He's your friend. You believe him. You know this happened because you know the guy. How do you feel about it 11 years later, right? Just think about it. You got to that's called empathy. If you don't have empathy and you can't put yourself in that situation at all to understand what this guy's going through, I don't know. So, Kevin Shoveldayoff, to me, is just a piece of shit. It doesn't belong here.
No, he doesn't. I'm sorry. He was named in the report. Clearly, he knew what was going on. Yeah. I get it. He wasn't senior management, but he was in the meeting. He was named in the report.
He could have stood up and say, maybe he couldn't do anything about it, but he could have stood up and say something, and he could have literally gone to the police. But no, right. Stanley Cup was more important. It's just it's inexcusable. And people want to equate Marc Bergevin, and maybe it turns out after, but I don't see how he cooperated with the investigation, and they never mentioned him in the report at all. In their conclusion, nothing. He was not mentioned. Right. How can you hold that against him? There's no proof. You can't really say someone's guilty before they're proven guilty. And when it's investigated and he's not involved, then we can't go on and say, well, Marc Bergevin. No, he's not involved. Point final. We're lucky. I'm happy. He's not involved.
Right. And what I'll kind of say on that is, and he at the time he was the director of player development. Yeah. So what I kind of think might have happened is being in that role, maybe he heard a rumor, maybe he heard there was some sort of incident. I don't think he would have known what exactly happened. That's what I think.
Well, because here's how I figure. Listen, this was in the room. They say the players knew it was in the room, but he's player development. He's dealing with guys underneath that, right? So it doesn't mean that he knows what's going on in the room. He's not there all the time. He's dealing with the minors, the prospects, those kind of guys, right? So it's possible he didn't know anything about it.
No, it is. I'm not.
No, I'm not saying you did.
I'm just saying it.
It's possible that he didn't know anything about it. I mean, it's possible.
No, it absolutely is. But I think it could be possible that he maybe heard a rumor,
but he didn't know. You don't know for sure.
But he didn't know any specifics. He didn't know maybe what exactly happened, which again I think is, especially because Kyle Beach at that time was a prospect.
He was a prospect, but he was a really high prospect, right? Right. So it's possible that he just didn't deal with the guy at that point.
No, it absolutely is, and I'm not accusing Bergevin of anything. I'm just, because his people do kind of talk about him in the,
Well,
with
because of the first round pick, they kind of associate that. And you can't even associate that if you want to look at that, right? Chicago Blackhawks, one of their players got assaulted by a coach. They did nothing about it, swept it under the rug, boom, 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 tried to hide it. Even the league and the NHLPA helped in this cover-up. What happened with Logan Mailloux is, first of all, it wasn't sexual assault. It was consensual sex. It was what he did afterward with a picture. That's different. It's not the same thing exactly. And the way the Canadians are handling the situation is nothing like what Chicago did. They're not sweeping it under the rug. They're helping this girl out, counseling, whatever she needs. And they have him in counseling. He's been punished by not being able to take part in a lot of things. They're trying to do the right thing. At least they're doing something. The handling of it is totally different. It's not even in the ballpark. So
no, 100%.
So I don't buy into anybody's talking like that. I'm not talking about the kid. I won't even really mention his name until I'm satisfied with what they've done and what he's done to, but what he did originally was not the same goddamn thing as what Aldridge did. Not even close. I don't like what he did, but it's not even close. You cannot equate things like that. Anyway, let's move on because I want to, it's pregame preview. I got some stuff to show.
Right, but I think it is good though that we did touch on this because it is
absolutely
big
hockey
news. Yeah.
You have to because it touches us.
Right.
It touches us as people who are talking up the NHL. If you're talking up sexual predators, that's on you as well. So if you don't talk against it, then you're for it, right? I'm not for what happened, right. So I have to talk against
God,
it.
no. No, absolutely not. No, it's disgusting. It's horrifying, and like I said, the fact that the thing that drives me up a damn wall is the fact that the Blackhawks knew what they had.
Yep.
But yet they still wrote a letter of recommendation to go coach on a high school team with 16-year-olds who are.
It's like, why did they do that?
Probably the most vulnerable group that,
They could have let him walk. They didn't have to let him walk with that paper in his hands. Right. They didn't have to. But it's just like the Catholic Church with the priests. Problem over here. Oh, no problem. We'll take care of it. Send him somewhere else. Let him be a problem over there, or maybe he won't. But just send him away. That's what they did. They sent him away, not their problem anymore. But, yeah, you're responsible. Okay. We're going to stop with that. Let's go on to some business here. Let's see what we got. So, if you're looking... Oh, no, let's go over last game. So, Montreal won 4-0 in San Jose. First time since 1999 they beat the Sharks in San Jose. If you look at the numbers, yeah, maybe they shouldn't have... the numbers weren't great, really, for them. 45-32 were the shots on goal for the Sharks. Sharks were 52% in the face-off dot, so they were winning there. Montreal was 1 for 4 on the power play. Sharks 0 for 4, so the penalty kill was better last night for Montreal, and they did get a power play goal. And hits, they out-hit them 26-18, but, this was a more of an even game, I think, like if you look at the numbers, but Montreal outplayed them where it counted, and they got 4 goals to none, and that's what matters. So, goal scorers for this match were Mike Hoffman opening the scoring with his third in 3 games from Kulak and Suzuki. That was Suzuki's third assist. He gets another one later. Romanov, who had a good game. I thought Romanov was good on the physical side. I think he had like one of those Gordie Howe hat tricks, right? He scored a goal. He had a couple of hits, and he had a fight. That's a Gordie Howe hat trick. A goal, a hit, and a fight.
Goal, and assist, and a fight.
Is it? I don't think it's the goal and assist.
Oh, it's a goal and an assist and a fight.
That's what I thought. Anyways, that's what they're calling what he had. So anyway, it doesn't matter. He had a good game. He got his goal.
Right.
He got his goal from Drouin, and that was in the second period. Gallagher gets on the board finally with his first from Anderson and Suzuki. Suzuki's 4th assist in, I believe, 4 games. So he's got 4 points in the last 4 games. So maybe he's starting to get going. And then the final goal was Anderson. I think that was an empty netter. Anderson gets his first of the season from Toffoli and Savard, and that's the scoring. So let's see. This was 3 stars. Jake Allen, Romanov, and Drouin. I was thinking, well, I don't remember Drouin to be like third star material exactly. It must have been somebody else. I couldn't really think of anybody else, so I just left their official ones. Because definitely Allen with the shutout gets first star. And Romanov stood out in the game. I thought Romanov stood out for me. So, yeah, and I couldn't think of anybody else either that stood out, over the rest. Could you? Well, you didn't see the whole game though, so yeah. So
no, I mean, I watched but I watched highlights. Like I made sure I watched the highlights and stuff.
No,
like I
but
said,
I mean,
it's hard for me because it's a late game and I had to work.
But did you find anybody that you would give a third star to then? I couldn't think of anybody in particular, so I went with Drouin. They gave Drouin. I gave Drouin. All right.
But I think Allen and Romanov 100% 1 and 2.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, Romanov had a good game. I thought, not perfect, but a good game.
Oh, and I love Romanov, and like I said at the beginning of the year, I think, if he could really find that next step, I think he can be a really, really good defender.
Yeah.
And he's, we know he's pretty good at moving the puck. We know he's pretty decent at the power play. I mean, I think if he continues to take steps, I think he can possibly emerge as a star in the back end.
I think we'll see a much better Romanov by the time the season ends as to opposed to what we're seeing right now. He's going to get better through the season. You can see it.
Right.
He's getting better, and he's going to be a good one. It's my opinion. Okay, so for tonight's game, where to watch? If you're going to look to watch it, starts at 4, so don't forget that. TSN 2 in English, RDS in French. If you're in LA, which I don't know, Bally Sports West, streaming on the normal ESPN Plus, NHL Live, RDS Direct, TSN Direct. Hate fucking advertising for them, but if you're a betting man, you know how the betting works. I always get confused. You want to give that so you know how it works?
Yeah. So, so spread wise, it looks like the Kings are favored by 1.5 goals. So if you want to take the Habs to cover that, basically the Habs have to score 2. Money line, bet 100, bet 105 on the Habs to win 100, 120 on the Kings to win 100. Over under is goals, so under 5.5. If you think it's under 5.5 goals in the game, take that. If you think it's over 5.5, take that. Again, you bet 100 on the. Yeah, you bet 100 on 105 on the under, you win 105. Bet 115 on the, 105 on the over, and win, you get 105. You bet 115 on the under, you get 100.
Yeah, I never know how that shit works. Anyway, but they give this stuff now. I figure if anybody's betting, I can put that up there. All right, tail of the tape for tonight. Montreal is 2-6-0. Kings are 1-5-0. For the scoring chances for percentage, Montreal 46.9%, 25th in the league. LA 51.1% for 15th in the league. Goals per game, Montreal 1.88 for 30th and 2.29 for the Kings, 27th. So it's not that far behind. Goals against per game, 3.13, they're 20th. And Kings are 3.29, they're 26th. So Montreal a little better, but it's basically the same. Power play percentage, 10.3% for Montreal, 30%. 30th in the league, 10.3%. Wow, it's getting up there. It's still got to get a lot higher. 17.4% for the Kings, and that's 18th. PK percentage, 69% for Montreal, 18th. It's coming up, creeping up. 61.9% for the Kings, that's 31st. So Kings don't have a very good PK as well. Let's hope Montreal takes advantage of that and maybe help their power play a little bit. Now, for the goalies, I think Jake Allen will be in nets tonight, and I believe it'll be Montembeault tomorrow. That's how I would do it. So we'll see. It might be the opposite way around, but they will split these games. I don't believe Allen will play both. The record for Allen is 2-5-0 with a 2.60 goals against and a 9.13 save percentage with 1 shutout now. Right on. Jonathan Quick, I don't know who's starting over there. So Jonathan Quick with a 0-3-1 record, 275 goals against, and a 907 save percentage. No shutouts. Cal Peterson with a 1-2-0 record, 3.71 goals against, and an 885 save percentage, and no shutouts. So don't know who. Not great numbers really from either of them. Quick with a little bit better, but not on the win side. So they're struggling like Montreal is. That's clear.
Allen's numbers are overall better than Quick's, and
Yep.
and look at that. So I look at Allen's too, his goals against and his save percentage. That just I mean those are the 2.6 is a little high, but the 913 is respectable. And like I said, that just shows that his record's bad, but that's because he's not getting support.
Yeah, it's not on him.
I mean, we've said he
doesn't get support.
I mean, I'd say he's had maybe one stinker. But that happens with every goalie.
That's right.
In the league.
He had one stinker. He definitely had one stinker.
But he's been good. He just hasn't gotten the support. 913. You want to see that higher, but that's respectable. And with a record like 2-5 to have a 913, I think that basically tells you what you need to know. He's fine.
He had that bad game.
Get him goal support, and
he had that bad game. Bad team in front of him. They're struggling. He didn't mope. He didn't come back with another stinker. He came back with a shutout against a team they haven't beaten there in 22 years. That to me, that's a statement from Allen to say, like, don't worry, I had a bad game. That's it, but I'm still, you know what I mean? That's a statement when you come out like that. The way the team's been playing, you put up a stinker, and then, it's easy to see a guy going into a bit of a slump maybe and letting that stinker sort of carry on for a few games. No. So I think that's a good sign. I really do.
Right, and it goes to show. I mean, he's obviously he's a backup now, but he's a veteran. He knows he's been in the league a while. He knows what he has to do game to game.
He knows
he's not going to let a bad game like that eat at him.
No,
like I said, when Carey comes back,
no, but you got to figure the way the team was playing, right? It would be easy for a guy to fall into a slump after a bad game and go like everybody else is bad. Why? What am I even doing? Like that kind of a thing. But, professional that he is, and it's good to see that he didn't let that happen. I think that's right. And to have confidence in this guy going down the road with Price out, that's a great sign.
Right, and like I was saying, it's just him being a veteran, being in the league a while, and when, like I said, when Carey comes back, if he's on, I still think we have one of the best tandems in the league.
Yep.
I really do.
Oh, without a doubt.
100%.
I think most people in the league would agree with you there. Let's just look quickly at last 5 games. Nick Suzuki, 4 points. Hoffman, 3 goals. These are the leaders on the team. Nick Suzuki with 4 assists. And Niku with a +3. Niku's been playing surprisingly good. Just that I wasn't expecting him to be as good as he's been playing so far, and knock wood, he keeps that going. On the other side, Darren Brown with 3 points, Kopitar with 2 goals, Edler with 2 assists, and Bjornfoot with a +2. So that's for them. And let's get out of there for the lineup. Tonight's lineup for Montreal should be the same. The only one, I'm just not sure if Paquette will be in there or it'll be Evans. I haven't heard anything about Evans coming back in, so I'm expecting the same lineup. Hoffman, Suzuki, Gallagher, Drouin, Dvorak, Anderson, Toffoli, Perreault, Caulfield, Lehkonen, Paquette, Armia. That's the forward lines. Let's look at Kings forward lines. Arvidsson, Kopitar, and it's Dustin Brown. I thought it was Darren. I'm wrong. Adrian Kempe, Phil Deneau playing second line center. And Phil Deneau in 7 games is 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points, and he has a total of 17. I think it's 53 minutes time on ice per game. So he is playing a little bit of increased ice time, but basically he's just playing the same. 2 points in 7 games. That's about Deneau's, maybe even a little under what he would normally get. Third line, Trevor Moore, Rasmus Kupari, and Arthur Kaliev, who was drafted the same year as Caulfield. Carl Grunstrom, Blake Lizotte, and Gabriel Velarde make up the 4th line. Let's look at the defensive pairings. Sherratt and Petrie are together. Romanov and Savard. Niku and Kulak. But if you notice through the game, you'll see them switch them around a little bit. So anyway, and I've heard this that he doesn't want to stick with specific pairings during the game. Ducharme will change things around and then switch them back as he sees the game unfold. Mm-hmm. That's what I've taken from how I've seen him coach so far.
I do think going forward, though, you have to stay with that defensive personnel. I think Chris Weidman just rides the press.
Well,
I'm sorry, but
puck mover and defensive. We've been saying that for how long? It just finally he did it. You got to stick with it. There's no doubt. When Edmondson comes back, they'll have to work. Well, they'll still stick with that kind of puck mover defensive, but it might change the way the lines are a little bit. But obviously, got to stick with that. Defensive pairings for LA: Tobias Bjornfoot. Tobias. I don't know why I said Tobias. That's just like ridiculous, Rick. Mikey Anderson, first pairing. Cale Clegg and Matt Roy. Don't know if he's French or English. Alex Edler.
That's Matt
Roy. Okay. Alex Edler and Austin Strand make up the third pairing. I don't know why I'm surprised Edler's on the third pairing, but I guess he's getting up there in age.
Yeah, I remember when he was, a pretty elite defenseman in,
in
his prime. He was
top four guy for
fabulous
sure.
defenseman.
Yeah, he was a top four, if not a top two guy. But I mean, he's getting older, so
right.
I'm surprised he's not higher. But hey, that's what they got. Goalies.
And you'll notice a big name missing from that defensive list too, in Drew Doughty. That is a huge injury for the Kings.
We're getting there.
Oh, okay.
Goalies: Jake Allen and Sam Montembeault is the backup. We talked about Allen. Montembeault, listen, he's going to get another shot. You got to give Montembeault another shot before you really toss him out. You can't toss a guy out based on one game when the team in front of him was crap. Injuries: Shea Weber, we know, is out and probably out for good. Paul Byron out, expected back somewhere in December, maybe very early January, but somewhere like that. Carey Price, don't know when he's coming back, but the talk is somewhere in December. That's the last I heard, but we won't really hear anything because of the privacy of the matter. For the LA Kings, Cal Peterson.
Whoa, I didn't know it was that bad.
What? Yeah, they got a lot.
That injury report.
Yeah. Cal Peterson in net with Jonathan Quick as the backup, or reversed. I don't really have the starter today. Injuries, they got a lot. Byfield is out. I don't know the seriousness. Athanasiou is out. Again, don't know. Elias Anderson is out. Again, don't know. Sean Walker out for the season. Drew Doughty out for about 8 weeks. And Brendan Lemieux, I don't know how long, but I remember he was out. He might be coming back soon, I think. He's been out for...
Yeah, I think he's only supposed to be out a week.
He's been out since preseason, wasn't he? Anyway,
I think maybe it was Elias Anderson. Someone and Drew Doughty both went down there last week or something.
Wasn't it Walker and Doughty?
It might have been. I just remember Doughty and someone else went out, and I saw that, and I went, all right, this is prime pickings for another win.
I think it was Walker and Doughty because they announced on the same day.
I think it was Walker.
I think they announced on the same day you sent it to me, that Doughty would be out 8 weeks and that Walker is out for the season.
Yeah.
So that's the lineups. I think Montreal can win here. I don't see why Montreal. I don't see why you can look at this game and say, "Oh, Montreal can't beat them." I don't see that. I'd like to see them win and start a little streak. Yeah, of course. I mean, who would want to see them lose? But I think it's very possible here. You've got LA, tons of injuries that they've got to get over, and you've got the Ducks tomorrow.
The captain's out, or I think that was Doughty the captain or the assistant. He's one of the two.
Who?
Doughty.
I don't think he's the captain, but
Kopitar might be the captain, but I think Doughty had to have an A.
Who did you think? Kopitar's captain.
Yeah, so then Doughty had an A. But that's huge. That's their best D-man.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's huge.
That's going to be huge.
It's huge for them, and this is something Montreal. They almost have to take advantage of that. So,
right.
So, all right. I think that was it. Don't forget, brought to you by the new Habs movie. Jesus Christ, why can't we find a legitimate superstar? Starring the Montreal Canadiens and Ted Neely. In theaters in 1973.
And Cal Peterson should be the starter. He's been the starter so far. He's drafted out of Notre Dame a year or two before Evans was drafted. I want to say a year.
Yeah.
Good positional goal. He catches with his right hand. So that's going to be kind of odd to see, but he's a good positional goalie.
Yeah. No, Peterson's good
still
potential.
Young.
Yeah, he's young, but he's got good potential, Peterson. So Quinn, hey Quinn, I didn't say hi to you yet. Halloween party. Tomorrow's Halloween. We got a game. I'm getting dressed up. If Matt's coming to be here, he's getting dressed up. I don't know what yet. We're not telling each other. I think I told him though what I'm going at.
Yeah,
so it's Halloween. Yeah. You guys don't have to dress up, but we will be in costume. So tune in at least to see what our costumes are. And the game. Hopefully, if they win today, hey, maybe they'll start a little streak going. Catch up on the games they have lost. They need to do that if they want to stay out of the bottom of this league. They need to start winning a few games in a row. So let's hope today is that point. Because basically, if they didn't win the last game, they were destined for the bottom of the league. They kept themselves out of that, and they need to keep this going to ensure that they get out of that.
Yeah, they should win tonight. I mean, in theory, should beat Anaheim. You know, I like John Gibson. I think John Gibson's probably the best player in the Ducks. I think he's one of the best goalies in the league. I really do. I just think he's on a shitty team.
Yeah, well, they're on a rebuilding team. That's a rebuilding team. They've admitted it.
But I think these should be two wins. I really, really do.
Richard Raquel just went on the IR.
Yeah, I think these two games with the injuries these teams have, I think it's just prime pickings for two more wins. I think anyway, right? I mean, you got to think.
I think so, yeah. No, I really do. I really do. But I just want to say, hey, Yukon, conservative lawyer. Petty says, I'm on an 8-day streak for the Tim Hortons thing. Pick a player that you think could score and gets a point. People say Caulfield and Romy and Laval. I don't think so, but your opinion. Romy, no. Romy, I think, is playing well enough. Caulfield, he's just got to score. I think he's playing well enough. The thing here is, I think there's a guy down in Laval that they could bring up to give this team a bit of a boost on the fourth line, and that is Pezzetta. I think Pezzetta is playing the kind of game right now that could give this team a little boost every game. You know, so I don't know if they'll do that and bring him up or not. I really don't know. Paling had a good game, by the way, last night. He's back from his concussion, and he had 2 assists. And they beat they lost 4-3 to the Rochester Americans. But Paling had 2 really nice assists. The goal from Willette's part of it was kind of, he missed really and just sort of glanced at the puck, but it went and bounced around and beat the goalie somehow. But the pass to him was beautiful by Paling. So Paling looking good. I think Paling could be a guy that they might call up if the scoring drought isn't broken now and they start putting up the normal amount of goals. So we'll see how that goes. Daryl Adams says, Rick, I think Bettman should be gone. And if I was NHL teams, I would not play against Jets. And what are they going to do? Well, they can't do that, though. If they could, I'd agree. But this is the new NHL, not the original NHL back in the day when they probably could do that. I agree. Bettman should be gone. No need to say any more. Dixon, how's it going, man? 4-2 Montreal. Devo with the first. Yukon, who is Deneau going to do against? Well, he's the shutdown guy. Let's see how he does. His first game against us. Let's see how he does. Yeah, well, we're all good. Zombie Jesus is here doing his usual pooping and watching. Dixon, Nico looks bad, only good for the power play. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. When Wideman was playing in that spot, every time he got the puck, I was worried. I don't have that with Nico. I don't agree. I mean, I'm not saying he's a star. I'm saying he's doing his job. I think he's being okay. If not good, he's okay. Better than Wideman, that's for sure. My opinion. Luca, how's Luca doing? Why'd they split Cole and Nick? I don't know. I think they figured too much pressure on Caulfield. Being on the third, he won't be keyed on as much, and I think. But you know what? It doesn't really. I don't think it really works. Hoffman doesn't go in the corner. Who's going in the corner to get the puck? It shouldn't be the center. So it's been Caulfield. It's not going to work. So I think they got to put him back, but we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
We need these two games. Yeah, we do. We need, at the very least, we got to win one of these two games. But yeah, I think two would really make a difference.
100%. I think, and like I said, I honestly think we're in prime position to take them both. My only worry with the Ducks game, like I said, I think John Gibson, I think is a fabulous goaltender. I really think he's one of the best in the league. He's just on a really crappy team. That's my only concern. Other than that, we're in prime position to get 2 wins here. We get 2 wins here. I mean, it's a whole new season, really, right? If you think about it.
Yeah, because then they're 4-6. You know what? A 4-6 start in the first 10 games, not horrible. I mean, it's not great, but it's not horrible.
Right.
And it'll assure them that they won't be. They could finish in the bottom 5 or 10, but I mean, it'll assure them they won't be in that what they were up against when they in the last game. Which was that every team in the last, and I don't know the period, but it's a good solid chunk of time. Every team, and there's not a lot of them that start with less than 2 wins in their first 7 or 8 games, to the man, that's to the team, finishes in the bottom 5. No exceptions. Montreal was facing that. So I hope by getting the second win in game 8 keeps them out of that. But I've got to tell you, if they win the next 2, pretty much they're not going to be that in the bottom 5 like they would have been, you know? Mm-hmm. It saves their season because you know what? Their season would have pretty much been over. Although, listen, it doesn't mean they couldn't have been the first team not to have finished that way, but, you know, they would have had to play at 600 hockey the rest of the way. I don't know that I want to bet on that.
Right.
You know? So now at least if they can get 2 wins here, it totally changes that, right? So, and if they can keep playing at least without going through this kind of a slump, then they won't fall backward anymore.
Right.
He says, don't talk too fast, Matt. Matt wasn't talking. I think it was me.
Sometimes I can talk a little fast. I apologize.
Don't have to apologize. Dixon says, Nico looks good with the puck on the offense, but bad defense like Gus with better hair. Well, okay, but the defense, he's a puck mover. So that's almost a given, right? He's a puck mover. As long as he is okay on the defensive side, he's going to give you enough on the offensive side it's going to be okay, right? It's going to be fine. Right. But Weidman, I don't find Weidman was okay even. He was less than okay on the defensive side. I don't think Weidman works. Plus, he has no size to him.
Weidman sucks playing defense. At least he can't play defense. He just can't.
Yeah, exactly. And then Niku at least has he's over 6 feet. And
I mean, he's a plus. Niku's a +3 right now. Obviously, that tells you he's doing something on the defensive end
as a puck mover at +3 with a couple of points. He's doing his job. Weidman wasn't, even though he scored 1 goal. Doesn't change that. Bain, I think Montreal has edge in goaltending tonight. Yeah, I think so too. Definitely, I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I think Allen has the, and like I said, I'm a Notre Dame guy. I love Cal Peterson. He was great in college. He's done all right in the pros. Like I said, he's with LA, obviously, so he has a young team in front of him. But he's not bad. But I don't think he's got anything on Allen. No, and Jonathan Quick, I think, is washed up at this point in his career. Yeah. I don't think he has anything on Allen.
Well, he's getting up there in age too, right?
Right.
So, Luca, I'm confused as to why you split your future stars and hinder their chemistry development. Well, listen, I'm telling you, I agree with you, Luca. I don't understand. I think you had to have a little bit more patience with them. I do. If they didn't split up line 2, I don't know that they needed to split up line 1 either. So let's see how that works. I mean, I don't know. I dare say if Caulfield would have had at least one goal, they wouldn't have split it up. Because I think, save for one game, Caulfield has been good. He just hasn't been able to get one in the net. But I don't think he's been playing bad. There was one game, I would say. Other than that, no. So, yeah, I don't get it. Who are we playing today? We're playing LA. Phil Deneau and the LA Kings.
Yep.
Dixon, yeah, they got to cut down on shots against Montreal. They need to cut down a bit. LA, I think, had, what did I say, 45 shots? Did I say 45? What do I got? I got it here. Let me look. What did they get? Yeah, see, they had 45 shots. That's a little much. You don't want to be giving up 45 shots every game. So, hey, Jason. So, yeah, so there we go. What do I got to add from this? I don't really have much to add, and we're getting yeah, we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop here, and we'll be back at 4:00 with the game. So it's just a little bit of a break. Get set up for the next one, and yeah, thanks everybody for being here. I definitely appreciate it, as Matt does, and we will see you in less than 15 minutes on the game, the live hangout. So hopefully we'll see you there. That's it. Thanks for watching, and peace out, y'all. See you in a bit. Bye.
100%.
Go Habs, go. Let's kick some Kings and Phil Deneau ass. Bye, everybody.